In fact, there are two major issues related to the accumulation of biogenetic limestone in Penhu. The first one is from the oyster farming. And in terms of annual output, the oyster meat production is about 1,300 metric tons per year, and with a production value of about $15 million. However, each year, roughly about 1,900 metric tons of oyster shell accumulated on land. So until right now, in Penhu Island, there have been over 6,000 metric tons of oyster shell piled up. This kind of accumulation has created environmental obstacles and hazards, especially the smell. It is currently one of the environmental issues in Penhu. Okay, the other one, the amount of the biogenic limestone shell. This arises from the dead corals. Penhu archipelago is surrounded by the coral community, or say fringing reefs. Then once the coral die, the skeleton will accumulate on the leeward side, or areas where current deposit them. This is the healthy coral reef in the tidal zone. So you can see the skeletal structure creates a lot of three-dimensional spaces, allowing a lot of marine organisms to move around freely and to shelter, to forage. This is also the place for the local economic marine species for the local people. So this situation is the other scenario. So when those coral rubble bury the intertidal area or subtidal area, you can see the skeletons lose the original three-dimensional space and cause the habitats that once supported various creatures to disappear. We are boldly to ask the county government to grant it a project, a trial. We selected a place in the inner sea of Penhu in order to verify the impact of coral rubbles on the intertidal and subtidal zone. So we selected here called Erkan. We try to use the manual removal methods to recreate a space suitable for coral restoration. We use the heavy machineries get in them were introduced and to excavate and remove the large amount of accumulated coral rubbles that had built up in the intertidal zone. Then we carry out some spatial planning and arrangement on the seabed. We directly utilize the branches of the native species nearby. They were originally growing in the sea. And we also use a very simple and cost-effective fixing methods using short steel rebar and plastic cable tie to firmly secure these living coral branches onto the seabed. The newly transplanted corals can actually growing very quickly. They can grow almost 4 centimeters within 4 months, almost 1 centimeter 1 month, because it's quite warm during that period of time. Most important, you can see coral branches, they can attract a lot of different marine organisms with different life history stage to inhabit over here. Most of them are economic species here. So you can see the goldfish and the very tiny juvenile butterfly fish. Alkali activated techniques. These techniques, they were solidified as the traditional Portland cement. And most important is, produce 1 kilo of Portland cement will produce 1 kilo carbon dioxide emission. But you use the AAT, the alkali activated techniques, it only 25% of the traditional cement. They stronger than the Portland. They can resist acid, they can resist alkalinity, even they can perform better ability to the fire, and even the waterproof ability is better than the Portland, but it's a little bit expensive than the Portland. We get some formulations to solidify of oyster shell and coral rubbles into the shape we need. Here I will mention about two index about the AAT. First one is called AM, it's called alkali modulus. It indicates the percentage of silicon dioxide to sodium dioxide. The other one is called alkali equivalent, which means the percentage of sodium dioxide in total alkali solution. The coral recruits prefer certain combination of this AAT, so we will use this kind of combination of formula for further application. We use the mold and casting methods to get this kind of bricks. And also it's idea from my twin sons' Lego bricks. We invite the real expert from the National Cheng Kung University, from the Department of Architecture. They use a lot of geometric shape module unit to assemble them in different ways underwater to create the porous habitat space. We also invited the expert from the Department of Architecture to design this kind of toy for us. Then we will do some artificial release of this kind of organisms, just like giant clam, sea urchins, even a top snail. We can produce in a unit of 100,000. We will release them into the sea to control tap algae. I want to take advantage of this rare opportunity to seek the collaborative partners. We need to speak up for the marine organisms and find a way for coexisting and cooperating to contribute to their sustainable future.